Hi, this is Sarah, the Stitchin' Mommy, and it's May 8th. It's a Tuesday, so Bendy Stitchy Michelle is probably making her Flosstube, or has already uploaded it. I think she gets up really early. It's just after lunchtime now, so she's probably done with all of that. I was going to film yesterday, and life got in the way. Too much stuff going on. Just ended up not having any time, and then today I wasn't thinking I'd have time either, but I ended up with at least an hour and a half, I don't know, enough time to film. So I'm excited to do it now instead of Thursday, which is the next time I thought I'd be able to. So I'm here for my update. I missed filming last week. I was going to do a planning video, and again, a lot of extra stuff. Monday is like a busy day, and that's like the one day I feel like I have time to film also. So if I have extra things come up on Monday where I'm trying to help out at school or something, just shrinks my time down to almost nothing. And last week I was just looking at all my planning stuff, and it's so unorganized, just like chaos, that I feel like if I'm making a video telling people what I'm doing, I feel like I should be more organized than I am. But I think I'll just do it. Maybe next week I don't know, because of Stitch Maynia, I might just do another update video next week, but we'll see how I'm feeling. But when I do another non-update video, I think I will try the planning one again, just show what I do, and with lots of caveats. It's not super impressive, not super organized, it's just kind of thrown together. It's very rudimentary and recent, you know, like just since I started doing Flosstube videos, I started keeping track of stuff. I didn't keep track of anything before. I just had my boxes of projects in the closet, and that was that. And I just worked on what I felt like. And if I didn't feel like working on something, I didn't. So stitching kind of came and went a lot more then than it does now. Now I see everything at a glance, so that makes me want to work on it all the time. So I am stitching a lot more now than I used to. And we have a friend. Hi. My kitty's gonna come say hi. Hello. So let's get on with it. I thought I would maybe share, just according to my pile right here, I'd maybe share some random stuff first, and then get into what I've been working on. So the very first thing I made time for at the end of April was my diamond painting, which I only have one diamond painting. It's a kit I got for my birthday a couple years ago, and we got it on AliExpress. It took a lot longer to arrive than had anticipated, so I actually opened a present with a picture of what it was going to look like and then waited for it to arrive. The kit I got didn't come with the little pen that they often do to put the little diamonds on. It came just with the bent tweezers, which I had been using, and they work pretty well. The only thing, after a while, it starts to hurt my fingers. So I found a $5 kit on Amazon that came with 3 pens and the wax that you need, which you really don't need a whole lot, and these trays that had the little funnel on the one side, which the other kit I had came with trays, but not this style, so I wanted to try these too, and I really like them because they help you put them back in the little bags easier. I was surprised at how little wax you really need, because if the wax sticks out of the pen, it just kind of squishes when you're trying to put the little diamonds on, and then you don't really get you can't really push on the diamonds the same way I was used to with my tweezers to make sure they're firmly on the sticky fabric. So you really just need a tiny bit inside the tip of the pen, and then you can pick up the thing. And you only need to refill a little bit of wax in there, like every several hundred little things, you know. So it's been fun. This is the only picture I have of the final picture, and I believe I am just over halfway. I have no idea what this is called, but when I looked in, when you look up on AliExpress.com, I just typed in fall colors, and it's one of the first ones that shows up. So And it comes in a variety of sizes from a variety of sellers, so whichever one interests you. I don't remember which exact one I used, but I'll try to find a picture of what it looked like last time I showed you. And here is what it's looking like now. Let's try to get a hand. Yeah, that's not gonna work. What's the best way to do this? There we go. That works. So I keep the paper on here until it's done so that I have something to cover it with while it's in storage. But I got 2 diagonals of finish, like 10 resins wide. I think they're called resins. 10 stitches wide. And you can start to see that green tree has a nice trunk and their pathway is coming in. And it's turning out really fun. And I think I'm a little over halfway now, so that's kind of a fun milestone. Almost to the top corner, but I've significantly passed this bottom corner, so that's fun. And I managed to pull that out for about 3 days at the end of April over that weekend, just because it had been a long time and I had been wanting to work on it, and I finally got my toolkit and I wanted to try it. So that's that. I had a few, right after my video, a couple days after my video, I got to meet up with my last update video. I got to meet up with Shelly, Key X Stitch, here on Flosstube, and she lives fairly local to me, 45 minutes to an hour away, so it's not like we can just pop over every day, but local enough. And we had a special guest from Australia, Lorna, the Ladybird Stitcher, also here on Flosstube, was in the States with her family on vacation, and on her last update, I don't know if she's done one since her vacation. I'm like 2 weeks behind watching Flosstube. Really trying to get caught up. But the last update before her vacation anyways, she mentioned she was going on vacation to the States for like a month. And I wrote her a private message and asked, any chance you'll be in the LA area? And she said, well, actually, and she was going to be close by and had a little bit of time, so we arranged to get together. And I said, do you know Shelly? And so all 3 of us got together, and that was really fun. I will try to put a picture in of the 3 of us here. And it was just fun to get to know Lorna in person and to meet her and her husband and her daughter. And my daughter came along as well, so the little girls had fun playing together. And it was just a really nice time. We spent the morning stitching and sharing whips, whatever Lorna had brought on vacation with her, and some of the things Shelly had with her, and I brought way too much stuff with me. We met at Shelly's house, so I had to transport what I wanted to bring, and I just kept looking through my stuff like, oh, they might want to see this, they might want to see this, they might want to see this. And then when I was sharing it, I felt a little self-conscious, like, really, you still want to see more? But they're like, yes, we do. Because most people you show who appreciate crafts and they want to see what you're doing, they don't really want to see like 20 things. They just want to see a couple. So having somebody who really cares about cross stitch is like, yes, we want to see what you've been working on and some of these fun projects. So it was different and unique in that sense, but it was fun. And it was fun to have like an in-person whip parade for all of us. And I got to see Lorna's Enchanted, it might be Enchanted Mermaid. I don't know. Enchanted Mermaid might be a different one. But she just finished one I saw on Instagram, and I got to see it when it was not quite finished, but it looks really pretty, and the fabric is a really nice light blue mottled color. You don't, everything is always prettier in person, so it was just fun to see stuff. And some of her Faithful Friend stocking she had with her was 25 count 1/1, and it's, most people I know in real life who stitch a little bit don't stitch on the high count fabric. So it was fun to see someone else's work that's super tiny like that, because I do that, but not a lot of other people I know in person do that. And seeing it on videos and pictures isn't quite the same. So it was fun to see her stocking on 25 count. It's all the tiny little pixels that someone else has stitched. So that was fun too. And then Shelly was super generous and gave us some cute little threads just because she's amazing. So we had Deep Blue Sea, Wild Berries, Barn Door, a dark chocolate wool color, and a Garden Gate wool. She likes to use wool when she's stitching like sheep and cats and things for animals in cross stitch, so I'll have to try that sometime. And then Tyler, Boy Blue, and Ladybug because it was the Ladybird stitcher. So that was a lot of fun. And Lorna got the same ones. Shelly gave us each a few cute little flosses. So that's kind of a segue into a little bit of more haul that I have. Not too much. When Ann P. was showing her Color and Cotton Fabric of the Month a couple months ago, I saw it and thought, ooh, I need me some of that, because Ann was raving about it, and I thought that could be a fun fabric for a particular pattern that I already have, and didn't really know what to stitch on it. Where is that? I've got my pile of things, but not, what do you call it? Not in order. So this is Color and Cotton's Rose Water. It's pretty close there in the shade. Yeah. So it's a light pink that's got some modeling in it. And this is the same stuff that Anne had, I believe. 32 count Lugana. And I don't know if hers was 32 or 28. But it's even weave, not linen. Because the even weave, I guess, took the dye lighter than the linen did. The linen was much pinker. But I liked the lighter pink, because I think it will look lovely for my S. The Nora Corbett letter fairy that I have. I thought that would be really pretty, because it's kind of a purpley pink S, and this is really light purpley pink fabric, so I think it'll set it off really well. And my mother-in-law had given me this for my birthday, and along with the beads. And Kreinik. And I still haven't decided if I want to buy the fancy floss or convert it or buy some of the fancy floss. I haven't quite decided yet. But I do think I might be starting this for my birthday in September because it's my initial. So that just kind of made sense to me. So now that I have this, I should just stick it in here with my supplies. Now that I've shown you. There we go. Got it arranged a little nicer. Perfect. Okay. So that was the other thing I bought. And then I'm subscribed to the Victorian Motto Sampler Shop month Threads of the Month Club, the limited edition ones, and I have just yesterday, I believe, I think it was yesterday, I got May's shipment. I never got a chance to show April's, but March and April are bobbinated now in a full-size floss box. Alphabetical by color, and you can see some of them have such a nice variation in them. Alphabetical by color name, I should say. So what I think I might do, because we'll see, I might subscribe until this box is filled. I'm not positive about that. I have ordered the Eliza Bell Cox sampler pack, which has like 31, 32 colors with only 5 year skeins. I think a couple of them I have 10, based on the usage in that pattern. I'm not going to stitch that sampler, but I may use some of those for the Ink Circles tapestry and start that in September also. And I think I'll be getting those next month, because I think they're going to come. I talked with Nancy from Victorian Motto about sending them with my June Floss Club shipment at the same time. So we'll see. I've heard she's really busy, so I don't know if they're going to be ready when she said they were going to be. But as of now, I think they're going to ship with my next thread of the month. And I don't know if you've seen these yet, but these are my limited edition flosses from Victorian Motto, which are all really pretty. There's a couple greens. There's Sampler Greenery, which has a good amount of, you know, dark and light green in it, which is fun. There's Kentucky Sky is a nice light blue. And Mellow Orange, which is as it said. There's Southern Mint, which is a fun one. And I think my favorite of this pack is Special Orchid. Look at that. Gorgeous purple. And Americana Bronze. That's a fun one. So that's for April. And still really enjoying this. And I've been winding them onto a pair of 2 bobbins because there's 20 yards in each skein. So then I get 10 yards on each bobbin. And they go in my box. And that's a fun little project that I'll do sometimes while watching TV at night or something. So that's all I have to show you for haul, I believe. So we can talk about what I've been working on. When I last updated you, I was right in the middle of working on Mini Birdsong for the April monthly challenge in Full Coverage Fanatics that was birds. So here, in case you want to see that again. So Heaven and Earth Designs, Tatiana Fedorova. It's called Mini Birdsong. There's also a full-size version. I'm doing the mini, and I'm doing mine on 40 count even weave. And I think my goal at the time, Year of Whips goal was to get a page finish on this. And I really wanted to try to do that. And at the time of my last video, I was really nowhere close. I think I had gotten like a column done and I needed to do 3 columns or something, and I was already nearing, I think I was already at the end of my rotation. So I just kept going because I've seen in myself recently that I really like finishing a goal before I put it away rather than just switching because the days tell me to switch. So there have been a good amount of opportunities where I say, I'm going to keep going until I finish, you know, XYZ, whatever I've decided for that. So here's what it looked like last time. And here it is now. And it took me 6 extra days, but I got my page finished. There were several days, I think, that were kind of light on stitching time, but the blue did stitch up really fast. And this went a lot slower, this leaf. And even the start of another Morning Glory, like this one is right here. It went slower, but it was very enjoyable. I actually really enjoy this half stitch, 1 strand half stitch on 40 count. So it is itty bitty. This is a full size Heaven and Earth page, which is like 90 by 100 or something. And here's my stork scissors, which is smaller than the stork scissors. So here's a bobbin to give you a scale. It's tiny. It is tiny, and it's one of those things like when I was showing this to my friends, to Shelly and Lorna in person, they're like, wow, when you're on a video, you don't really notice a picture or a video, you can't really tell just how small something is. And then I held up one of my large 18 count golden kite patterns, and they're like, yeah, that's as big as it looks. So those ones, when they're ginormous projects, they look ginormous on camera, they are ginormous. But the little ones, sometimes it's hard to tell exactly just how tiny they are. So that's how small it is when you compare it with a standard size bobbin. It's a little bit bigger than a bobbin for a whole Heaven and Earth Designs page. Really fun. The next page, oh yeah, I should show you. That one stitch is the beak of a bird. So there's a bird right here, and there's a bird down here, and this is the tip of his beak. So that was kind of fun. So in the Full Coverage Fanatics challenge, the challenge is for birds, so technically I worked on a bird. And the next page will have a good chunk of the other bird, if not the whole bird. So And I think it's just 3 pages across, so it's a nice tiny one in general in the amount of pages, and it's, I guess, 12 pages total. So as far as heids go, it's pretty small. And literally small because it's on 40 count. And let's see, what's next? When that was wrapping up, I got an Etsy sale for 5 handkerchiefs. And I was mentally gearing up to start working on my diamond painting. I was excited. And then I get this sale for 5 handkerchiefs where I stitched the little Nintendo characters on a handkerchief. And only one of them was already made, so I needed to make 4 of them. And I had about a week to do it. So my initial thought was, oh man, now I can't do my diamond painting, now I can't finish my goals on my projects. But then I realized I have a week to do 4. I could do like 1 a day, and most of them were small. One of them was a larger one. I could spread that one over 2 days, and once I meet my Etsy goal, then I can let myself do diamond painting or cross stitching or something of my own. And that worked really well, because then it spread out the responsibility, and I could still spend some time having fun doing my own thing. So I got my handkerchiefs finished, I got my diamond painting out and worked on, and finished Mini Birdsong just in time for Stitch Mania. So I did not get to Furry Animals Freebie because of that. That was like, if I finished, that's like kind of my priority full coverage piece to get out every month. So I didn't work on it at all in April, like I had been planning to, but that's the way it goes sometimes. So I'm hoping I get to it at the end of May. But again, we'll see. I have other priorities before that one. So Stitch Mania starts, and I told you last time what I was planning to work on. My first project to start was Stargazer by Mirabilia, and I'm planning to start 4 things for Mania every 4 days. So the first 16 days of May will be starts. So I am doing a conversion on my own hand-dyed fabric that is navy blue. And I love how the fabric turned out. This was just MCG Textiles 32 count white linen from the craft store. And a little bit of part of me was afraid that even though, not really afraid, because I've stitched Mirabilias on MCG Textiles before, but part of me was a little bit worried that it would still be uneven when working on it. And the other part of me was wondering how much it would shrink because it's hand-dyed and there's beads on this. But after I had a good amount stitched, I measured, it was like 16 stitches one direction, 16 and a half the other direction. So it's pretty good for MCG Textiles as far as evenness goes. And that also proves that it's still very close to 32 count. I did not bake this. I just dyed it in a warm, it was in the oven in a warm bath water, like a water bath in the oven to keep the water warm. But I didn't like lay it out on a pan and bake it like some people do. And I had heard Johnny maybe, in one of her videos, how some of the fabric she had baked had shrunk more than the fabric that was just dyed. So the dyed and baked versus dyed, the dyed and baked one shrunk more. So that was curious to me, because by the time I measured that, I'd already read her video and watched her video and realized that and thought, oh, well, maybe that's why mine didn't shrink, is because I didn't bake it following. But I rinsed I rinsed this puppy so much that I'm not worried about any of the water coming out, even if I want to wash any of the dye coming out, even if I wash it later. I think it's pretty color fast. Anyways, all that to say, I'm really happy with it. It's stitching up really nice. It's probably not as high of a quality of linen as something else, but it's still really nice, and it's fairly even, and I'm having a lot of fun with it. It's a lot nicer to stitch on than it had expected. Being so dark, I was a little worried about that being hard to see the holes, but it's actually pretty nice. So since you didn't see anything before, I will show you what it looks like after 4 days of working on it. And I gotta keep something else in the video or it's gonna all wash out. So that's what she looks like now. I'm lightening up most of her so that she pops off of this fabric. So as you'll see, she's supposed to have dark hair, like a black jacket, gray ribbons in her hair and her dress, and a light blue skirt. What I am doing is I'm doing light brown hair, a burgundy jacket, gold ribbons on her dress. I'm keeping her skirt light blue, and I'm going to bring the light blue colors from her skirt up to her hair bows. So her hair ribbons are the same charted colors as her skirt. So that's kind of my plan. Her skin will stay the same. I just haven't gotten to it yet because it wasn't a converted area. So I wanted to try to get all the areas I was changing worked on so that I could get an idea of how the colors were going to turn out. I think they turned out pretty good. I'm really happy with her. She's definitely more me now, for sure. This is definitely more me, so I'm really happy with that. And I'm planning to pull this out again in August because Stitching Marie has her birthday in August, and she's planning to make this her birthday start. So in solidarity and celebration, I'm going to pull mine back out in August and give it some more love. I don't know exactly when in August her birthday is, so maybe when she reveals more details of when she'll be celebrating and starting, I'll know like what week to plug mine in, so I can be working on it around the same time she is. So that's the plan with that one, and I'm really happy with how that's coming along, and I'm really happy that I got so much done on it that I did. So far Stitch Maynia has been going really well. I've managed to carve out a decent chunk of stitching time every day so that I can actually see progress on everything. And I've only worked on 2 things so far, but it's working pretty well. So today is the 8th, which means it's the last day of my second start. My second start was Anne of Green Gables. This is a cropped version of the Quick Stitch. So this is part of Amy Stewart's Heroes and Heroines bookshelf, I believe is what it's called. So you can get this whole huge bookshelf that she designed that's got vignettes from different stories, and the Anne of Green Gables are in that on the bookshelf somewhere. But then Heaven and Earth also charted a Quick Stitch version, which just has the scene with Anne and Gilbert and the Anne of Green Gables house, a huge tree, and I wasn't interested in all the house and all the trees, like probably 10 pages of green, and then these guys. So when Shelley had given me the silk gauze to try, because she didn't want to use it, I used one piece for my falling leaves that turned out about 2 inches square, and then I used the other piece for this Anne of Green Gables. I thought, oh, that'd be perfect to do a little cropped version of that. And here's where I am now. And I've been photographing it on my dark, yeah, that looks bad, on my dark chair here. Because then you can't see the strings behind it. If you put it up against something white, you can see all the strings in the back. And then it just looks messy. So I was trying to hold it up against something darker so you could focus more. You can still see them a little bit on this, but you can focus more on the actual stitches. So this is mostly 3 days. I did a tiny bit down here this morning, but about 3 days of work on this. I'm hoping to get a little bit more time today to put a few more lengths in, maybe get some more work on Gilbert's clothes so that he doesn't look a little less pink. He's very pink and purple right now, which I wasn't really expecting. He does look like he has some of those shades in him, but it's definitely brighter than I was expecting. So I'm hoping that once all the colors are in, it will tone down a little bit and be a little bit more gray overall. And when compared with the really bright greens and all of that, I think I'm sure it will eventually kind of make sense and kind of all work together. So again, here's a bobbin to show the 40 count, the size of the 40 count, you know. So that's how small it is. But again, I'm really enjoying the 40 count half stitches. One string, a normal like 18-inch string, goes a really long way. It'll go like all of this plus more. You'll have leftovers. And so I'm not doing extreme cross country, I'm just doing regular cross country, but the strings just keep going forever and forever and forever. Like, I had 2 lengths of black out, and I was gonna do, I thought about, there's a big chunk of black right here, so I left out both strings, and I thought, I'm just gonna, I'll do all the black up at the top. But then I decided I got tired of black because I did so much. All of this was just one string of black, and a lot of stitches are in there. I'm like, all right, I'm moving on to another color now, and I'll do the rest later. This black will outline the side of her hat and hair and stuff, so that'll be fun to see more outline of Anne. But I'll probably do that next time because I want to try to get him a little bit more normal looking. I don't think I'll do his skin yet because there's a lot of skin over here too, and I want to just focus on him right now to try to get as much finished on him so you can see what it's gonna look like. But the background, like this top corner, is mostly finished, and it looks really cool. So I'm happy with that. Very happy. So starting tomorrow, I will be starting my 3rd start, which is Touchdown. And I'm doing a color conversion to make this a Denver Bronco and this a Oakland Raiders character. Pardon me. So I've got my color conversion ready to go. I'm going to stitch it on MCG Textiles Even Weave 28 count in light blue that I got at Hobby Lobby. My Hobby Lobby is currently still carrying these, so if you like light blue, it's a lot like Monaco. I've measured it, and it's very even. And I'm doing my Teresa Wensler dragon on this also. So it feels a lot like Monaco. So if you like Monaco, this, I can't vouch for the antique white and the white, I'm not sure. Antique white still seems to be pretty uneven, but this light blue is actually nice. So somehow along the way they got this one right. So that's what I'm going to be doing this on starting tomorrow. And then in a few days after that, I will be starting another full coverage piece, Mini Princess of the Sea, which I'm excited about. Here's a big one of her. This is the actual mock-up of the mini. And this one is going to be on Dove Gray Monaco. So this is also 28 count Dove Gray Monaco that I got from Rita Reen on eBay. And she has an eBay shop and a Flosstube, not Facebook. She has an Etsy eBay shop and a Facebook shop. But I got this off of her Etsy. I got a whole yard of it. eBay. Sorry, all these F's and E's. It's all confusing. I got a whole yard of this, and I'm using this for my travel little monthly Little House Needleworks things, and I cut a piece of it for this. So I'm excited to start her. I'm doing a 2-stranded half stitch to help her go quick, because I just love how quick half stitch can be. When I'm done with Stitch Maynia, those 4 starts, I'm going to pull back out. In case I don't know when I'll come back. I'm sure it'll be in 1 or 2 weeks, but just to refresh, when I'm done with Stitch Maynia, I'm going to work on this again to do Charlotte's Web, which is the one for May. And maybe I'll show you just because then it's easier to find for next time. I think I said that last time too. So here's where it's at now. It's a lot of fun each time. So I'll do that and get the block finished and at least one strand in the border, the banner. When that's done, my goal will hopefully be to finish my castle. Bodiam Castle, which is, that's how far I'm at with that one. No progress since last time, but this is where it's at. I have just the stitching down here and then backstitch that needs to get done. And I'm really hoping to finish this in May and get it done. This is a Year of Whips piece, so I would love to finish it for Year of Whips. Get back in there. If by some miracle I still have time, I will pull out my Furry Animals Freebie and put some more time into this, which still looks like this from last time. So I'm hoping to get more done on this just because I want to finish it. It's another Year of Whips piece as well. So that's kind of my plan, to start the 4 starts, 2 of which are already started, and then start finishing things. So get my mini finish on my Frosted Pumpkin piece, try to finish Bodiam Castle, and then work on a finish of the Furry Animals. So I thought that was a nice balance between starts and finishes. I actually went through already and planned out June. My June plans, because there's the World Cup Stitch Along challenge thing in Stitch Maynia, which has daily challenges just like the Olympics did. So I had my 6 pieces that I wanted to work on in June. So first I went through and wanted to, you know, plugged in those things where I could, and then there's a few things in there just from my whip list that made the cut as well. So I'm just having fun stitching it along, and I'm hoping to continue to have time to stitch. Life is pretty busy sometimes, and especially nearing the end of the year, there's lots of extra stuff going on. But my cutie's here sitting with me. So I think that's all I have for you today. I'm hoping I'll come back next week and either do an update or a planning video, so we'll kind of see how that goes. Until then, happy stitching! Alright, here's an addendum. I forgot to show you my Little House Needleworks travel piece that I'm working on. I don't remember if I showed you this finished. I don't remember if it was done yet. But here it is, all finished. It's completely as charted, only I'm doing it 1/1 on 28 count. Dove Gray Monaco, so everything is tiny. And I loved the how the variegation came out, especially some of these sharp variegation, like this yellow to orange to yellow to orange to yellow. And the pink and the purple is all one floss. So it's just kind of interesting. Like this yellow sun has orange rays, but it's all one floss. So some of them were quite strongly variegated, which was kind of fun to work with. March has the same floss. This pack came with the same 5 flosses. So here is my start on March, which currently looks a little bit like a mushroom, in my opinion. But this is the green hill with a couple sheep, and there's a sheep on top. And I put this away for a few days because I was doing a secret stitch in the car, and that is now done, so I'm working on this again. And I was a little bit of a frazzled moron yesterday and forgot to take a picture of my finished secret stitch. But when the recipient receives it, I will ask them to take a picture, and then maybe I can share it with you. So that's coming, and I think that turned out pretty cute. And I think now I am officially finished. So see you next time. Oh, just kidding. I fully finished my my daughter's preschool teacher's butterfly piece. It was called A Teacher's Job by Jodery Designs, and I stitched it with color and cotton floss at the beginning of April over spring break. And I filmed a little, I gave it to her this past Friday for Teacher Appreciation Week, so I filmed a little clip that I will insert here. Hi, I'm here with a little clip to show my fully finished object of my daughter's preschool teacher's present for Teacher Appreciation Week. This is Teacher Appreciation Week. It's May 3rd, and tomorrow is the last day of Teacher Appreciation Week. And I just finally went to the store to find something to finish it yesterday. Nothing like last minute. I can be a pretty bad procrastinator sometimes. I've had like 3 weeks to go look for something and I just kept not remembering to do it. So, found something. I was not able to find a frame I liked because that's kind of what I assumed I would do, but it was a weird size. 5x7 was too small, 8x10 was too big, there's not a lot in the middle. So I eventually found a sign, a wooden sign, and this is what I came up with. So I think it turned out really cute. This is a sign I found at Hobby Lobby, and it came with this metal plaque screwed in to it, which I unscrewed, and then I laced my stitching over just a piece of cardstock so it was really thin. And since it's Ada, I folded it over the cardstock where I wanted it and ironed it down and just did a really loose lace. I didn't pull it tight because I didn't want it. The cardstock's obviously very flimsy compared to like foam core or something. So I just laced it loosely over cardstock and then hot glued it onto this all along the back so that it would be flat. And then I reused the screws that had been on this thing and screwed them back in the corners of this. And it's a different size, so they're fresh holes, but thankfully it wasn't too hard to screw those in. And they were made for this, so they don't poke through the back. I'll be adding probably a little card on the back that says who made it and how much we appreciate her. So, and so it came with this little, jute string attached to it already, and I think the color of this wood matches the sticks really nicely, and I think it turned out really cute. So that's my finish for my daughter's preschool teacher, and daughter and son. He had her 6 years ago, and we're really thankful we got to have her again. So that's that, and now back to your regularly scheduled program. And now that you've seen that, I will wish you officially goodbye. Hopefully I don't forget any more things. And I will see you hopefully next week. Take care. Happy stitching.